Hello, everybody, and we are live and on the air, and you should be able to hear us and see us. And if you don't tell us otherwise, then I assume you can. So, yeah, you noticed in the title that we're waiting for somebody. More about that in a moment, but let's just see who's here already. So, we have got Jan is here, and Mozilla's here, which is Debbie. Cheryl's here, Tamela, Jeannie, Barb, Russ, Kristen, Stephanie, Kathy, Melina, or Melina, Karen B. Just going down the list. Oops, things dropped. Let's see. Oh, Persida, Brenda Mitchell's here. Anybody else? Glenna's here, Patsy's here, Judy's here, Lucy Scott is here, Linda's here, Suzanne is here. We have lots of people here. Oh, Suzanne's in Kirkland Lake. That's a ways. That's definitely a ways. Okay, so I'm sure other people. Carrie just joined in. Yeah, so and Sue's here too as well. So I'm sure there'll be more joining us. So let's get right into things. Okay. So first off, what have I been working on, and what has Walter been working on?
Nothing.
Walter's been working on nothing, yes, but I have been working on some things here. So I thought I'd show you some works in progress. Just get them up here. So let's see what everybody's saying for a second here. Okay. So everybody's saying they can hear us now. That's good. And there's more people here, like Sweet Granny, and Heidi's here.
It's like a vintage silent movie.
Yeah, right. It just our lips moving, but you can't hear us. Yeah, okay. Barb's here, Shelly's here, Jean's here, Faith is here. Did I miss anybody? Judy's here. Jeff's here. Colleen, Andy, Mary's here, Rosie's here. Rosie, you need to turn up your volume because our volume is at full right now. Stephanie was making up commentary while we were getting us fixed. Okay, so all right. So anyway, sorry about that. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It never ceases. This whole day has been like that. Okay, and you're going to hear why, and you're going to hear about it in a moment. But first of all, let's get an update from Walter about his car situation. What's new?
Well, I still have a rental car, and they claim that they're going to get back to me early next week to tell me that whether they're going to fix my car or whether they're going to say it's a write-off and pay me out, or that's all I know right now. They haven't come to a conclusion yet. I don't know what's taking them so long.
But everybody we've shown the picture of the crash too, what the car looks like, all have said the same thing. That's a write-off. Tow truck driver, a guy that works at a car dealership said that. We've had a few of you who've been through things like this before and have a little knowledge about this have said the same thing. They're playing with us, but you know, insurance companies. So anyways,
well, I'll be bugging them next week again too. So
yeah. So anyways, you did get the rental car extended, right?
yeah, I got the rental car. I was gonna lose the rental car on Saturday, but I phoned them up to extend the rental car, so now I've got it till next Friday. The smell inside is beginning to dissipate. So
yeah, it had a really strange smell in this car.
They used some cheap deodorizer, and I almost gagged every time I went into it because it was such a strong deodorizer smell inside of it, and it was like really cheap deodorizer.
It's probably the stuff they buy at the dollar store.
It was really awful.
It was really bad. So it looks like people were naming the gnome, and they're naming it Walter. Walter the gnome. Yeah, right. And Russ says we have audio issues. He has AC issues. Yeah, I've heard Russ, that you still don't have AC. My God, that's not good. Yeah, we're all a hot mess, some literally. Yep, true. Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. And Ron says, as long as we can hear Walter. And I'm surprised Ron didn't say because he's so dreamy. Whatever. But yeah, old Laura's here. Okay.
Lydia.
Marilyn, Lydia, I said Lydia, yeah. Shelly says, took 6 weeks to settle my daughter's accident. Insurance companies make money for delaying payouts. Every day makes some money. Yeah, of course. You know, what more can you do about it? You know, that annoys me, that other screen that we're looking at. It is like so far behind. That's something new on YouTube in the last little while. I don't get it. Whatever. But anyways, we're looking at 3 screens here. This is a problem. Anyways, Patsy says, Walter, are you dealing with the ladies' insurance or yours? Oh, this is
my
good.
insurance.
However, the ladies' insurance is the same company.
Same company.
Yeah.
Well, technically, it's the parent company of my company. So
yeah. So yeah. So yeah, they basically they have, if they want to pay Peter, they have to rob themselves for it. So yeah. But it's very clear that it was completely her fault. The cop said so. She said so. And Walter's got dash cam to prove it, too. So, you know, insurance companies, they want to take your money. They don't want to pay it out. I mean, that's how the business works, right? So we'll see what happens. But I wish it would get, yes, Shelley, you're right. Squeaky wheel, call them every day. Yeah, well, Walter tends to be a little lax on things like this. If it was me, yeah, I agree, Shelley. Francis, remind them you're in a rental. Check your area's insurance practices on rentals. Here in my area of the U.S., rentals are available up to 30 days. I work in a body shop and deal with this regularly. Yeah, well, they told him that they're covering it and everything. He's only had it for a week, 8 days actually.
yeah, well, they told me if they're going to give me a cash settlement, whether I take that first offer or not, I have to return the rental after 2 days. So,
So anyways, yeah, well, we'll see what happens. It'll all work out. Hi, Nadine. So yeah, that's the fun on the front with the car. Okay, so some announcements with what's coming up. Well, of course, we have our weekly So with Stephanie and Steven. Everybody knows the routine there. Links in the show notes. Wednesday morning starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and it goes until Stephanie and I start to get bored with all of you. And then we kick you out. That's how it works. Yeah. And on this coming Saturday, it is Steven's birthday bash pop-up sew day. Stephanie made me call it that. It's all Stephanie's fault. So yeah, pop-up sew day starting at 8 a.m., but it's come and go. You do not have to book a spot for it. Some people were a little confused about that. They thought it was like the retreat and you had to pre-register. Nope, you do not. The link is in the show notes. Those of you on the mailing list will get an email sometime on Monday. And thank you to a couple of people who noticed that in the So Chatty and the Idiot Quilter this week that I had put in the wrong date. I put July the 5th. I left out the 1. It's July the 15th. Well, we're past the 5th now. So, you know, it's July the 15th. Sorry about that, but thank you to those people who brought that to my attention because I did not realize that I had made that mistake.
You're an idiot.
And you're so dreamy. And a gnome. And you know what? Where gnomes live? Under a bridge. Oh, no, that's trolls. Well, same diff. Whatever. Walter the Troll. I mean, they do have a dog named after you. What is it?
Walter the farting dog.
Yeah, well, that pretty much fits. Yeah, really. Yeah, do you think the air freshener in that car is air freshener, or is that just sort of you?
Well, it might be you.
It isn't me. Oh, it smells fresh as a daisy. Always. Judy says, you may have to get a lawyer involved and threaten to sue her. Judy, you're from the States, aren't you, sweetie? We know about the lawyers suing in Americans. That's a pastime for Americans. Doesn't work that way in Canada. No, it doesn't work that way. We're nothing
Yeah,
like
if
you.
I try and sue, it'll be in the courts for years.
Yeah.
And do I want to wait years? No.
No, we don't have a Judge Judy here. Hi, Diana. Marilyn says, tell them your neck has been bothering you since the accident. They will want to wrap it up real fast. Well, that is an idea. In some ways, yeah. Oh, Shirley's here. Hi, Shirley. Lydia says, unfortunately, we won't make it this weekend. Celebrating a kiddo's birthday on Saturday. Okay, well, fine. If that's more important to you than my birthday, I'm not hurt much. You're no longer my best friend, Lydia. Sorry. Sherlock's here. Hi, Sherlock. Jan says, dreamy Walter, you wit. Good God, I should turn that Nightbot back on with her emojis and then knock Jan out. Look at, there's a pussy, there's a pussy, there's a pussy. 3 smiley pussies and I'm not sure what the other 3 pussies are. Oh, Walter. That's one's a good one too. So, hi, Charlie. So, anyways, those things are coming up. Well, we thought we might have somebody else joining us on the live today. Those of you that are regular to the So Days and things like that all know her from Regina, Dana. Dana came out here a little over a week ago. She's was traveling the East Coast. I think she and Heidi got together because Jan sent me a picture of the two of them. And basically she's on the road on her way back. She's back here in Ontario. She's coming here for dinner with her traveling companion. They stopped in Prescott, a place basically just south of Ottawa area, Cornwall area, and met up with another regular subscriber, Lynn.
Who just came on.
Who did? Lynn? Oh, there she is. Yep, I know Lynn. She's coming. She's been keeping me up to date. Oh, Mona's here. Hi, Mona. And anyways, she just, before we went live on the air, she sent me a picture, which I'm not going to show you because that means the sound will cut out, of the traffic. See, I forgot to kind of mention to Dana that it's Sunday night on the 401 after a long, after
A short week.
a short week, because a lot of people took this week off because of July the 1st falling last Saturday, and all that.
Most businesses would have given you a holiday on the Monday. So
yeah, so a lot of people extend that, and they're all coming home. So she showed me a picture of the traffic jam she's in, and she's not done yet. That was in one area. Walter already checked it on the road maps, and there's another traffic jam that she will be part of very soon as well. Now that one was caused by a car crash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, but as she approaches our area, the traffic's going to be bumper to bumper as everybody goes back into the city, into Toronto, with it all. I kind of forgot to mention that to Dana at the time. Dana she grew up in Ontario, but I don't know how long she's been out west.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that the traffic's become much more worse over the years.
Yeah. The 401 corridor, which runs from Windsor right through to the Quebec border, is one busy highway at the best of times. But on a Sunday in the summer, pretty bad. So we're not sure what time she's going to get here for dinner, but she's not going to make it for the live today. But what I am going to do is, when Dana gets here, and I'm sure her and her traveling companion are going to be a little overwrought, so we'll apply them with booze. And once I get her filled with giggly juice, I'm going to do a little mini interview with her, ask her about her trip and stuff like that, and record it, and I'll post that as part of the Idiot Quilter or So Chatty or something next week. So you will get to meet Dana, for any of you that have never met her before. It just isn't going to be on a live with that. What's this? Billy just woke up from a nap. Hi, Billy. Okay, I got to back up here. Okay, where did my cursor go? My bar. Oh, come on. Nothing's working today. Get out of there. I don't want you in there. No, I don't want you there either. Bear with me while I try to make my computer behave. Okay. Just learning to see, catching up. You people love your emojis, don't you? Ron says, tell Walter is tell them Walter is a pain in the neck. I'm sure they'll believe you. It's a pain in other spots too. What are javelina critters? There must be a thread that I missed here because I have no idea either. Lynn says they thought they would have made it on time. Lynn, no. I've been communicating with her today via email. At about 2 o'clock, she tells me she's meeting up with you at some part. So I'm saying to Walter, I looked it up. It's a 3-hour from Prescott to Oshawa. It's almost 3 hours if the traffic is good. Okay. So we figure, well, she might spend an hour with you. That would put it closer to 3 o'clock. That would mean the earliest she'd get here would be just about 6 o'clock. So she'd miss the live with that one. Although she did tell me she thought her traveling companion would not want to be on the live anyway, so he's safe with that. But then at around 3 o'clock, she told me, okay, we're on the road and the GPS tells us we'll arrive at 5:45. That was before they hit the traffic. So they'll get here at some point in time. I don't know when, but that's okay. We haven't started cooking dinner yet. Well, we're just doing chicken on the barbecue, but anyways, so it's not a big problem. Okay. Oh, Heidi got to eat lunch with Dana and Jim as well. And when they made their way out, Stephanie says, Lydia, they are wild pigs, being suckers that live in Arizona. Oh, okay. Lynn went to the Water Girls quilt store. They're discussing what she bought. Okay, so we now know what these critters are. They're pig-like stinky critters. Okay. Just looking at what you're saying. Julie says, I like how it turned out. It's all I can say. Okay. 2.5 hours the most they thought. Yeah.
Well, it depends on how fast they were driving. But
yeah. Well, they won't be driving very fast with what according to that
yeah, because there is
an
accident there's an accident near a place called Colburn, and it showed on the map, it showed a red line, meaning that it's jammed up there.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see her when she gets here, and as I said, I'll do a little video of Jan here and everything, ask her how she liked the East Coast and everything like that. Julie says green is a good color on Walter. Not everybody can wear that shade and not look green themselves. Okay, that's good to know. Jeffy Lynn says. So I got another surprise today. Okay, back up for a minute. We have a community mailbox, you know, the ones that have all the slots in it, and we have 2 keys.
I almost couldn't get the box out.
Oh yeah, okay, they did it again, which is typical. They put it in compartment A or compartment B.
B.
Okay. They're idiots. Post office. But I'll come back to that. So, anyways, I said to Walter, well, we haven't checked the mail in a few days, and he can't find his mail key.
Yeah, I had always had a mail key with a little tape measure attached to it, sitting in the coffee cup holder in my last car, so that it was always available for me to use if I needed to. I don't know why I never put it on the keychain. But anyway, so I think it bounced out of the coffee cup during the accident, and while I was cleaning out the car of all the stuff, I think it might have bounced underneath the seat, and I didn't see it when I was taking stuff out of the car. So I don't know where it is.
So he doesn't have the key. So the other key is on my key ring, but I don't carry my key ring around with me, unless I'm driving my car. You know how I don't drive my car. Anyways, I said to Walter, maybe you should check. He was going out to get some supplies, and I says maybe you should check the mailbox too. When you come home, take the key and do that, because there's a couple of things I was expecting, which, you know, bills that need to be paid. So he comes in with this big box, and as soon as I saw the way it was labeled, I knew who it was from for sure. Um, so it was an early birthday present from Jan. And I got to show you this because it's hilarious. Okay, let me just get things out of this little... Okay. So this was what was in the box. Now, those of you that go on to my pop-up sew days and when I used to do craft and chat know exactly what this says. Jan has put on here my picture, of course, and it says, "My pail and shovel, my sandbox, Stevens rules." Because most of you that are regulars know what I always say. My sandbox, my rules for this. I think it's hilarious. Left the price tag on too. Whoa, it's for 3 and up. That's good to know. Well, it's not the price tag though. But I thought that was hilarious. So that's going to go in a place of honor. I don't know where yet, but it will go in a place of honor. But there's more. Okay. So she also sent me a charm pack. I have a feeling this is a charm pack she's had for a while and doesn't like. It's okay. I will use it. I appreciate it. I love it. So, yeah. And she sent me a gift card from Amazon. I'm not going to tell you for how much, but this was a real nice surprise today. And, you know, with the week we've been having and that with the car and everything like that, this was a very welcomed surprise. So thank you, Jan. And no, I'm not going to be sarcastic, Jan. I already did that with you in email. Because I do appreciate it. It was very thoughtful of you. Very nice. Okay. And there came with a card, and this is also typical Jan. All these dogs and a couple of pussycats on it. It says, "It's your birthday." And you open up and it says, "That calls for a round of applause." The only thing you didn't do, Jan, was sign the card. How did I ever figure out that it was from you? I don't know with that, but that's a lot of fun. Thank you again, Jan.
Thanks.
It made my day. Why? He shouldn't give you anything.
No, I know, but it makes him happy, so that's a good day.
And you know what they say: a happy wife, a happy life. With that. So what are people saying here? Not as big. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Oh, Lydia says, "Oh my God, you finally sent it." Oh, I guess she's had this in the works, has she, Lydia? Oh, Julie says, "Walter needs a shovel that says, 'My tool shed, my rules.'" Yeah, he's already got a lock on the door. Did you give me a key?
Yeah,
yeah, you did. I'm surprised. Yeah. So, okay. So what else did we do? Yesterday, we went to a concert. It was a live band. We had front row seats for it. It was a small, intimate crowd, and it was our great nieces. We got invited by Walter's nephew to come over to the house for their his daughter's annual concert. And I would love to have shown you some video of it, but I can't because it'll demonetize the channel. But they play guitars. And let's see. The oldest one, Claire, she's 12. She plays lead guitar, electric. And Brooke, her sister, who's 9?
I'm not sure how old they are. I just know what grade they're going into.
Well, she's going to... Brooke's going into grade 5 because I asked her. And I heard Claire say she's 12 years old now because she's doing that counselor and training thing.
Yeah, so it would make sense that Brooke would be 9.
So Brooke is about 9. And they're really good. And their dad plays, I don't know, a third guitar with them. But they're really quite good. But the funniest part is watching the youngest one, the bass player. She sits there, her feet don't touch the floor on the chair. She's got this humongous guitar in her hands, and she's sitting there, and she's got this look on her face like, boom, 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 boom. And she's so serious about it. Occasionally she looks up. There was a bee. A bee was trying to get at her, and she was looking around for it, but she didn't miss a stroke, that's for sure. Boom, 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 and this bee flying around. And Claire, the older one, she's really good. They play the classics. They do, like they did Johnny Be Good, and they did the birthday song by the Beatles and some other Beatles tunes and things like that. I put in a request for ABBA. That's for next year. But it was kind of, they were really quite good. It was quite entertaining. So, and they are our great nieces. I had to explain the concept to them.
Yeah, they weren't quite sure because my sister was there, and so it was
Which is their grandmother.
Yeah, their grandmother, and so I was the uncle to my nephew it's his kids. So
yeah, so they kind of had to draw him a diagram, but it was nice. They've got a. We've never been over to their house before. They used to live in a place north of Toronto called Brampton. And they moved out of there a few years ago, then just before the pandemic hit. And then, of course, nobody was seeing anybody. And they now live in our city. But in their backyard, their back of their house has this huge covered deck.
which is unusual in Canada to see that.
Yeah.
So.
Quite a nice setting.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I was going to say, we need something like that on our house.
The only problem with that is our house, you'd have to build it up higher, right? Because,
Yeah, well, I know, because it would be coming off our roof. Well, you'd have to come off higher off the roof and out.
Yeah.
Because the slope is too great.
Yeah.
On their house, it's a 2-story, so they have it up there. But it was really quite nice. I don't know what the neighbors think. Although they didn't mention anything about the neighbors.
Well, I can't say that it's probably all that bad because it's not like they were doing it for hours.
Well, no, they weren't doing it. They did about 5 or 6 songs, kind of a thing. I would have loved to show you the video that I took because I've thought the youngest one was hilarious. Talk about serious musicians here.
You don't even have a still for it?
No, but maybe on my vlog tomorrow,
Yeah, okay.
I can do a still and then I'll put it up. Now that we have this technical difficulty here, if I switch the camera over. But anyway, so yeah, it was kind of fun. Okay, so they're all talking to Lydia and they're not paying any attention to us. Okay, so what's the point? Really? Okay. Lydia's out in the water. On the hook off Simcoe Island across from Kingston, out in her boat, I guess. Water's 76. She says a lot warmer than the islands on Gananoque. A bit overcast day, but still really enjoyable.
Yeah, it's overcast here too, but it's actually quite nice out.
Yeah. Lynn says, yes, nice today. I met Dana and we sat outside along the water in Prescott. Just 2 old ladies feeding the birds, right? Out there. Lynn says, I'm listening also. Okay.
It's 26 degrees Celsius here, which is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. But it's overcast and it's actually kind of nice out.
Yeah, it's not like so hot. Sorry, Russ. That you...
Well, you had to have your air conditioning.
On.
I noticed our next door neighbors doesn't have the air conditioning.
Oh, yeah. There's Dana. Dana must be on her phone. Hi, Dana. You must have, your ears must have been burning. You must have heard us talking about you. So, Dana, where exactly on the 401 are you now? You still caught in traffic? Because we've been following the traffic on the internet, and it's not looking good.
There's another blockade at Colburn.
Yeah. Isn't technology wonderful? We can have Dana on here at the same time, even though I told everybody, Dana, that you weren't going to make it to be here on the live, but when you guys get here for dinner, we are going to take a couple of minutes to do a little recording and talk about your trip and everything like that, and then I'm going to post that next week. No, you don't have a say in it. If you want to eat, you don't have a say in it. No, not. Heidi says she's listening, but her hands are busy. Okay. Busy hands. Keep you, what is it? Idle minds, busy, or something. I don't know. Okay, so we had that. Now, here's something. Has anybody had a smash burger? They're all over the YouTubes. Okay, everybody's talking about smash burgers. I don't know if we're late to the game or not. But on kilometer 501 on the 401. Well, Dana, that doesn't mean anything to us. Like, Walter's looking it up. Gee, can you read a sign that says what town you're near? Okay. Have you passed Kingston yet, Dana? But anyways, so Lynn says she's had a smash burger. So basically what a smash burger is what it says. You have a ball of hamburger, you put it in your frying pan, and you flatten the bejesus out of it. Right down so it's like an 1/8 of an inch thick. They cook really fast, they get a little crusty. And Walter says, how about I make smash burgers for dinner on Friday night? And I said, sure, fine, they're just a hamburger. But actually, you'd be surprised, they're actually quite tasty. So he made 2 for each of us and, put some cheese on it and some, condiments and things like that. And he made a special sauce because we were watching, I think it's America's Test Kitchens on YouTube about how they do it. And they make this sauce. It's very reminiscent to the special sauce on a Big Mac, but actually it's very, very tasty. They were good hamburgers. Surprising, because I figured, you smash something down to that size, you're really, it's going to be a disc, a little hard disc, but it really wasn't. And they stay together. So have you figured out where she is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Dana says, ETA, 5:36 p.m. Keep talking. We'll be done by then, Dana. So,
Winston Churchill Boulevard. That's Mississauga. It says that's 501.
I think you got your numbers mixed up, Dana. Kilometer 501 is in Mississauga, the other side of Toronto.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wait. That or Walter's got it mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure it out. But Dana says estimated time of arrival is 5:36 p.m. So, Barb says, I've been to Smash Burger in Calgary. Oh, so they actually have someplace called Smash Burger, do they? And Russ says Steak and Shake was the original Smash Burger. Okay. I mean, new to me. Never heard of them, but I heard something about them, but not until Walter actually made it.
Well, 515 is Highway 33.
513. She put 501.
Yeah, I know, but 513 is Highway 33.
Okay.
So they're at around Highway 33. Where's Highway 33?
I don't know. You've got the thing on your phone. You tell me where Highway 33 is. Karen B says 501 near Trenton. Could be. Julie says Idle Hands or the Devil's Workshop. That's what I was looking for. There's a couple of smash burger restaurants in Tucson. Okay. Lydia now wants having her husband order smash burgers with her husband. Val's here. Hi, Val. Smash Burger is a restaurant chain. Have one by me in California and not impressed. Okay.
They're sort of near Napanee.
Napanee. Okay, well, Napanee's on the west side of Kingston. So, yeah, they're getting here. Lydia says, oh, maybe should go for a road trip. Okay, so anyways, they were good. They worked out good. What was in the special sauce?
It was just mayonnaise and ketchup and chopped up pickle and pickled juice and chopped up onion. I think that's it.
I thought there was something else, too. Mayonnaise. Did you say mayonnaise?
Yeah, I said mayonnaise.
Oh, okay.
I said mayonnaise, ketchup, chopped up pickle, chopped up dill pickle with pickle juice, and what's the other? Onion.
And onion.
They said shallot.
They should have shallot, but yeah.
I just put a little bit of red onion in it.
Francis says, I've seen a couple of smashed tacos, too. Oh, that's interesting. Heidi says they had cast iron burger presses for years. I've never had an official smash burger though. Yeah, that's what Walter cooked it in, was the cast iron frying pan. They showed on American's Test Kitchen or something. They took a big pot and they wrapped it in tinfoil bomb and they used that to smash down the burgers. Walter just used a spatula.
We have a really big spatula, so I used it instead.
I'd have those again too, but I mean,
Yeah.
they're not something you can do on the barbecue, so they fall right through your
Yeah.
grate. But they were actually surprisingly quite tasty. I love the special sauce with that. So now, what else are we going to talk about? Well, all right. So I know we had July the 1st last Saturday for us, Canada Day. You Americans had last Tuesday, July the 4th. So, of course, what goes with those holidays? Fireworks, of course. However, we have a lot of people in our area who will fire off fireworks all the time. And a lot of the cities and towns across Ontario, anyways, and in Quebec as well, ban fireworks this year. Oh, why would that be? Well, you Americans that live in the northern states can probably tell me quite well why that should be. Because of all the forest fires we have across Canada right now, and all the smoke that's coming down and seems to skip us, but goes right into New York State and Ohio and places like that. Yeah, it's really dry here. Anything will set off a forest fire. So, fireworks. Yeah, no big deal. Let's set off fireworks and let them hit a dry area and start another forest fire. Now, in downtown Toronto, probably not going to do too much because, you know, there's no nature there. It's concrete jungle. So Toronto didn't cancel their fireworks. But, you know, a lot of other areas did, and rightly so. But you got these yahoos, and I don't understand it. They buy the fireworks, and I'm talking about young people. I'm talking about the 20-something crowd, and they light them up and shoot them at each other. Uh-huh. Duh.
Actually, there were ones in Toronto that were doing it that were underage.
Were
They were the 13s and 14-year-olds that were.
Where are their parents
Yeah.
for that? Like, ridiculous. Now, last year they did the same thing, and there was a big problem with it, and they had it on video. You can find YouTube video of the whole thing, too. The cops in Toronto said, not this year. We have more cops out. We will not tolerate this. This is not going to happen. We're going to put them in jail, blah, 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 fine them severely. Guess what? It happened anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was happening with 13 and 14-year-olds, well, guess what? 13 and 14-year-olds are very much aware of the law and how they are protected by what we have in Canada called the Young Offenders Act, which basically says do whatever you want until you hit the age of 16, and you won't have any repercussions.
Is it 16 or is it 18?
Well, it might be 18. I'm not sure about that. That could be. It might be 18. And they can quote every paragraph of that law.
In fact, they have. There's a lot of car theft in Ontario.
Yeah,
Lando was talking about, and they get who the thieves get underage kids to thieve the cars because if they get caught, they don't get prosecuted as badly as an adult does.
Yeah. So, but I mean, stupidity with all this. And then there was one lady. There's one of those apps for neighborhood. Well, we call it the stupid and the idiots.
Next door,
yeah, next door, because all these people do is bitch about everything. There's a couple on there that want to remind everybody about when they can put out their garbage, you know, and watch out for raccoons. She's being very helpful. I should just call it
the busybody.
Yeah, the busybodies. You know, they got their noses in everybody's business. But one lady, and this one, there's a legitimate problem here. She was saying she had no problem with people going over to the vacant schoolyard or the park and shooting off their fireworks, you know, on Canada Day kind of a thing, you know, away from houses and things that will burn, you know, that kind of stuff. But she said, but they left all of their garbage there. You know, like clean, and she said, why not clean up after yourselves? You know,
kind of the 60s.
Yeah, it's not the 60s where you could throw your drink cup out the window on the highway and, you know, butt your cigarettes out there and, you know, and everything like that, throw out small children. Well, you could still do that. They bounce.
Actually, somebody's still talking about hamburgers. They said dry and tasty. Actually, they were actually kind of juicy.
Surprisingly.
Dry and tasty.
Yeah, I thought that too. I thought they'd be pretty much dried out and crumbly.
But no, but they were actually pretty good.
Yeah, they were good.
You gotta try not to overcook them.
Yeah, they don't take long to cook. So, like, what?
I mean, we like them well done. Well, I mean, in Canada, normally we eat hamburgers well done. And, but I cooked it so that it was right at the well done stage and got them off really quick. So, so that, off the grill really quick. So they weren't dried out. So,
No. But,
yeah, a little oily.
yeah, I know that when you go to the States, some places ask you how you want your hamburger done. And I always look at them with wide eyes and go, very well, thank you very much, with that. Because it is not good to eat ground beef rare. Okay?
And actually, I don't really like the taste of my hamburgers rare anyway, so.
No, I mean, there's too many problems you can have with that.
And in Canada, the default by the Canada's food guide is well done. So,
like, if you want your hamburger here, if you order it in a restaurant here, and you can say, yeah, you want it medium rare or something like that. But if you don't say anything, they default to well done because of Canada's food guide for safe eating. Shelley says next door here is, I hear gunshots. No, it's fireworks that goes on all year round. Well, actually, we hear it all year round too, but it's not fireworks, it's gunshots. So, as we have figured out in the newer part of the community that's just north of us, which is kind of scary. We've had a lot of people move into that area from out of the city. And yeah, I have to be careful what I say.
well, then they end up bringing their problems from the city out here. So,
Yeah, and
from the Toronto city out here, and
there's a disproportionate a number of them that come from a certain
bad backgrounds.
bad
put it away.
backgrounds. Yeah, let's put it that way. You gotta be careful what you say. Hi, Lucy. How do you want your burger cooked? They ask. I reply, on the grill. Yeah, that's a good one with it. So, yeah, anyways, this whole business of fireworks, I kind of think, and I know this will be controversial with some people, why do we need fireworks at all?
Well, why do we need home fireworks?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if a city coordinates something for a big fireworks display, like, the fireworks in Australia at New Year's and stuff like that. That's one thing, but why do they have to sell fireworks that can be let off at home?
Yeah, there's really no necessity for that. I know fireworks are tradition for like 4th of July and the 1st of July and all that kind of stuff. But those were back in the days. Well, actually, back in the day, getting fireworks when we were kids wasn't that easy.
It was easy.
Oh, well, okay, maybe with the crowd you hung out with.
I just went to the variety store, and I was a little kid, and I'd buy fireworks.
Well, yeah, but what kind of fireworks were you on? Ladyfingers?
Yeah, I went out and bought firecrackers. They don't sell them anymore.
Well, when you say firecrackers, are you talking about the ones that are the rockets, the ones that go in the air?
No, the red ones that were like those big.
Ladyfingers.
That's not ladyfingers. Ladyfingers were little tiny ones.
Oh.
And then they have bigger ones.
Okay, well, you see how often I bought them.
I'd go and buy them, and I was like 13 years old.
Okay, you definitely grew up differently than I did. My parents wouldn't let us go near them. They never bought fire.
Well, my mom didn't know I buy.
Oh, okay. You're an evil child.
I mean, they may have told me I shouldn't be buying them, but I did.
But the other thing too is, I mean, okay, we're going through sort of drought conditions in parts of all across Canada, in different parts. We have a lot of trees in Canada, contributes to forest fires. So instead of even shooting off fireworks, we have the technology. You see it at New Year's on YouTube when you watch all the big light displays, right? That are happening around the world. And a lot of them use laser lights. Now, yes, I know. Give a kid a laser pointer, they'll down a jet. You know, kind of a thing. Shine in a pilot's eyes and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, aren't those, if they're done responsibly, and I don't mean by a family, you know, those drones and things, like the drones that they put up in the air, sure, they cost money, but they're cheap technology now.
By the way, if you hear some weird noise in the
I probably
background,
can't hear that.
my neighbor, our neighbor is
I
cutting our
probably
lawn.
can't
Okay.
hear that. I have the noise suppression on this. But anyways, so I don't see the need to have fireworks anymore, especially when people are being irresponsible with them and we have drought conditions. You know, we need more fires? No, we don't. So we don't even, our city doesn't even have a public fireworks display.
No.
They haven't for years with it. So I don't know. What are people saying? Laser light shows are great, Lucy says. Yeah, because they can do some really fantastic things with those, you know. And when they shine them up on buildings on the side of them.
Actually, I think what's fascinating is sometimes they have the drone displays.
Oh yeah, when they do all their configurations and things like
Yeah.
that. Like if you see the New Year's Eve ones around the world, like in Dubai and, well, a lot of the major countries do it. And then they also light up the buildings and they show, you know, they project things on the buildings. I think that's more fantastic than the old-fashioned fireworks. Barb says, when I was a kid, we had sparklers. Yes. Yeah, we had sparklers. Those were always fun. Always like the sparklers. But then again, you can lose an eye, burn out your face. There's always some kid that's holding that little steel rod right until the moment that it gets down there. Burn my fingers. Or someone like pokes you with it, right? Like hot skewered and that kind of a thing. But kids will be kids. I guess that's what they do now. They're just more elaborate. They don't use sparklers. I guess you can still get sparklers.
I don't know.
I haven't gone shopping for sparklers in years. Yeah. Shelly says, just saying that people set off fireworks for 7/4 New Year's. Your sports team won. Gender reveal. Found some we missed last month, and probably toddler potty training. They just go off all the time. I hadn't thought about that, but you're really right, Shelly. You know, fireworks were something special because you usually only saw them maybe twice a year. You know, on the Independence and Dominion Day, or Canada Day, as we call it now, and New Year's, kind of a thing. Now, yeah, you're right. People have gender reveals, you know, so set off fireworks. And I've heard about a few of those where people have gotten really crazy with what they're doing. It caused, like, people have gotten seriously burned.
Or they've killed themselves, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there was some story not that long ago about somebody doing a gender reveal, and they thought it would, what was it? They lit something up like helium or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, and it ended up that the father and the friend putting the thing together got killed during it. So that's great.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, Lucy says Guy Fawkes Day had to be grown up, and they stored them under glass, locked up from registered shops only. Yeah. And he says, wouldn't it be nice if people shared cheesecake instead of fireworks with their neighbors? Sure, that would be a lot of fun, actually. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea, Heidi. Heidi for Prime Minister. Let them eat cheesecake. But anyways, yeah, and we're still hearing bang, bang, bangs, and we don't know whether it is fireworks or it's gunshots anymore. So, yeah, all very scary. So, speaking of people leaving their garbage, what is with the garbage on the streets? I have been noticing in the last while when we've been out and about in our area, there's garbage. Like, there's drink bottles or cans or cups. There's McDonald's wrappers. There's, you know, pizza boxes blowing up the street. Now, those probably come from the recycling bins.
That's probably, it's a windy day and the recycling bins have been... are open and they end up blowing all over the place.
But, you know, why can't people pick up their garbage? I mean, I remember back, it was the 60s. And everybody just pitched everything out on the side of the road. You know, you were driving along and the whole bit, and you're eating a hamburger or a sandwich or something in the car, or you had a Kleenex or something like that. And, you know, Dad, what do you want me to do with this? Just roll down the window and pitch it out. And we did. And then there was a big campaign, you know, don't litter, all this kind of stuff. And then they started putting up signs saying you'd be fined if you were littering. And things cleaned up. And we just now take, at least I thought, we just take it, I take it for granted that you don't do that kind of thing. But I have seen a lot of people pitching stuff out. We were somewhere not so long ago, right on a city street. Somebody rolled down their window and pitched out a cup. Like, huh? What's that all about? Why are people doing this now? Lazy bunch of a-holes. And you know, if you go downtown Toronto, which we haven't done for quite a while, Toronto used to be considered a very clean city. Well, not in quite a few years now. There is, well, one of the problems is they have garbage cans on the main streets and everything, but they're overflowing. Like, basically there's a garbage problem because the garbage cans can't hold the garbage. Like, what's where the city staff is for that? They're supposed to, the works department is supposed to clean that up. Or Shelley said a gender reveal sparked a huge forest fire in California a few years ago. So, Shelley, do you know, did those people get fined or something for that? I would hope that they did. I mean, obviously they knew why it started because there was a gender reveal, so they must have known who was doing it. Lucy said, my mother taught us to put sweetie wrappers in our pockets. I love it when the English call them sweeties. Would you like a sweetie, love? It sounds so, you know, sweetie. Shai says, where I live, garbage.
I could say something dirty.
Well, don't. Well, it's not a family show, but don't.
No.
Where I live, garbage day is always the windiest day of the week. I have to go halfway down the block to find my recycle bins. Well, we've had that problem here too.
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of recycle bins that have ended up on our boulevard that nobody comes back to claim.
Oh, Southern says, come to the south. They throw things, beer cans at street signs trying to hit them. Okay, is that a hobby, a pastime? I only recently learned that putting a beanbag in a hole is called cornhole, which...
That means something else
that
in
means
Canada.
Totally something different in Canada. Yeah, cornhole. Ooh, okay, won't go there. Marianne's late again. Not that we've noticed, Marianne. Yes, we have. Lucy said there used to be rubbish bins in laybys. They removed them because people threw rubbish at them. Laybys. What's a lay-by, Lucy? Is that like off the side of the road, a rest stop or something? We would probably call those.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I've never heard the term lay-by. Val's here. Hi, Val. Sounds like California with all the trash on the streets. Yeah.
Well, it could be that maybe there aren't as many trash bins as there used to be. Because now that I've really looked, I usually, if I had something in the car, I mean, I don't usually eat in the car.
No.
But if I had something in the car, I usually left it in the car until I got home. And then threw it out.
Oh, Dana's in Coburg. 3 lanes. Okay, you're getting close, Dana. You're getting closer.
Yeah, but the 3 lanes won't last.
No, because you're about to hit the outskirts of our area. Coburg is about what? On a good day on traffic, about 45 minutes from us. Mm-hmm. So, yep. Heidi says, I live on an isolated rural road and people are always throwing out beer cans and fast food refuge. Ignorant people don't care. Yeah, true. Barb says, I would never in a million years think about throwing garbage on the street. No. I mean, I would just hang on to it until I got to a garbage can somewhere, whether it's at home or wherever. Brenda says, my husband always picks up plastic and glass he finds on his walks around town. He takes Gorilla Tape and fixes up lids to the rubbish bins. Oh, do you mean so that the lids don't blow off? Is that what you're talking about, Brenda? Southern says it's a sport, I think, when they can't shoot them with their shotgun. Oh, okay. A lay-by is just a parking spot where the main road is wider, no facilities. Oh, okay. So yeah, we would kind of call that a rest spot. We have rest spots on certain roads that don't really have any facilities, but you can go there like and rest a bit if you're getting a little tired on the road. Um, and they usually have garbage cans at those sites too, but who knows? I don't know. Next time around, we'll have to see how many garbage cans we have in our city out there. Lucy, have you listened to a David Sedaris? I don't know who that is, Lucy. Who's David Sedaris, and why should I listen to him? Is it something I will learn? But anyways, it's just, this was one of the things that next door app, the Busybodies on it, they were bitching about this because they had a picture. Somebody, and this was disgusting, somebody had a broken plastic bin that they had put to the side of the road, and in it was a pile of dirty diapers, like disposable diapers. I mean, oh my God, that's just gross. What? Who would ever think of doing something like that? Well, obviously somebody did, but just pigs. Imagine what their house looks like. Dana says, anyone remember the Orbit garbage cans along the highways?
No.
Not in this province. Maybe out in your and Dana, Orbit. Why were they called Orbit? Is that the name of the company, or did they float in space, or what?
They circle Uranus.
They circle Uranus. That's a cornhole. Put a beanbag in that. Yeah. Marianne says he's hilarious, whoever this David Sedaris is. I don't know. Does he have a YouTube channel or something? I've never heard of this person at all. Okay, so we've talked about fireworks. We've talked about garbage. This is current news, by the way. Okay. Have you heard the latest here in Ontario? Well, in Canada, actually. Yes, the cost of food, as we know, since the pandemic has gone sky high. In fact, here in Canada, the food inflation is higher than regular inflation. We are controlled by only about 3 major grocery stores. They buy up all the little ones, and there's...
there are variations of the corporation. Like one corporation may have several different other stores, but they have different names on them. So
yeah, and they're saying that because there's a commission. Our government is famous for when there's people get upset about something, they have a commission to look into it, and the commission usually costs several $1 million. It's usually got people who are double dipping in the government because they're already got a lot of money, have got to have a good pension from the government already, and they're double dipping into that. And then after months and months and months of interviews with people, hearings, things like that, they produce a great big, huge book full of legalese language that nobody can read, and it gets put on a shelf, and that's what your $2, $3, $4 million bought, and they have recommendations on how to solve a problem. Well, they have one of those out right now, and the biggest problem they think is there's not enough competition in Canada for the grocery stores. So they want to encourage other places to get into the grocery business. They're trying to encourage small independent places. Well, guess what? That's not a solution, because the small independent places cannot buy their food and get the price for it wholesale that these big conglomerates can get.
What the original complaint is that food prices have gone up here in Canada, and the profits of all these corporations that sell the food have been at record highs this year. So that kind of smells of the fact that somehow they're gouging us. So
yeah, but instead of like putting in some regulations to regulate these food businesses, like possibly saying, like they do with rent control in Ontario, you can only raise your food prices by a certain percentage that's in line with or slightly lower than general inflation. No, they won't do that, because these food corporations are huge businesses, multi-billion businesses, and they've got the government in their back pocket. But the other solution our government has come up with is they're going to give us all some money to help with the food bill. Well, not all of us. If you make less than, what was it, $30,000 or $35,000 a year, you will get it. If you have children and you make under a certain amount a year and you have like 2, 3, 4 kids, they will give you a maximum of about $600, a one-time payment. If you're a single person and you're making less than $30,000 or $35,000 a year, and by the way, the poverty line in Canada is $30,000 or less a year. They will give you $200 and some odd dollars one-time payment. Obviously, Walter and I don't fit in that category because our pensions, we bring in a little more than, and I mean a little more. We're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're not making 6,000, making 6-digit, in the year. We make over $35,000 in our pensions and our.
Well, funny thing is, if you look at, I think with the minimum wage right now, you had a minimum wage and worked 40 hours a week, your wages would be just slightly below 30,000. So
minimum wage here in Ontario is $15 an hour.
Yeah.
For it. So yeah. So one-time payment for this. Okay. Oh, wonderful. I'm a single person. I'm getting $250 this payment. Oh, that's going to buy me a year's worth of groceries. That's going to buy me a month's worth. That's going to buy me a week. That'll buy me a day worth of groceries. Well, maybe a week. Okay? If you're clever. If you're really, looking for the things that are reduced for quick sale, 50% off. Was that a green pepper? Look closely. It may be green. It may not have been a pepper. Okay? Or I enjoy black bananas. They're so much easier to digest. A little bit of a bitch to peel, but doesn't everybody enjoy cutting off the end of a banana and being able to squeeze it onto a cracker or your bread? That's good. Sure. Brown lettuce? That's just a new breed. Yeah. Family with 4 kids? $600? That's going to buy them nothing, especially if their kids happen to be teenagers. Teenage boys, they eat everything. And lots of it. So, yeah. That is an insult to the Canadian people. And that is coming from Trudeau's government. I used to, during the pandemic, I had a lot of respect for Trudeau. I thought he was doing a lot of things right. Now, no. I'm sure he doesn't worry about food prices. Because why? Oh, because the Canadian people are feeding him and his family, his 2 children, his wife, him, because that comes out of our tax dollars. Yeah, we feed them and feed them well.
Meanwhile, we're spending $3 million to try to save a sub that's gone wild with millionaires.
Yeah, well, that was coming up next. But just before we get to that fiasco, I don't know how people are doing it. And we're hearing that in the States. It sounds like it could be even worse. Like, we heard reports that you're paying $6, $7, $8 for a dozen eggs. We think it's bad if we have to pay almost $4 for a dozen eggs. So, wow, that's incredible. Brenda was saying, street people go through the trash looking for returnable pop cans, many times break the lids while looking. Oh, I see. That's why he's out there fixing them. That Sarah, David, what was his name? Sedaris? He's on the radio. He's a U.S. guy. He's funny. And he is obsessive about collecting garbage. No, Scrunch says, what about the fabric lately? Yeah, we know that. That's all gone up too. But you can't, quite frankly, you can live without fabric. You can't live without food. So, You
can?
Well, quilters can't. We would rather, we'd rather buy the fabric than eat. But, not everybody is the same. Julie says, same in the U.S. Record profits and record prices. Still some of the lowest inflation amongst the industrial countries. Yeah, but the food prices, their inflation is higher. I was watching a news program about that, are higher than what the inflation is for everything else. And yeah, they're making record profits. And they don't seem to care about that. They don't even try to make an excuse for it. So, yeah. Barb says she received $131. Well, that's going to buy, what, 2 green peppers and a banana on sale. Julie says, I knew kids growing up that had part-time jobs so they could buy more food than they got at home. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we've always had, people who have been food challenged, right, in our society. But now there's many more. I think the food banks were saying that they're going to have an increase, they determined, for the next year of about a 60% increase of people using food banks. And these are not people who don't have jobs. Okay, that's the thing. These are the working poor, basically. And our government slaps their faces. We'll give you this couple of $100. That'll tide you over until hell breaks loose. Every other major industrial nation has seen inflation spike well above pre-inflation levels, but the United States has seen its inflation rate spike higher than its most direct competitors. No eggs. No, eggs are about 2 to 3 per dozen now. Okay, because we heard a report. But I do know it also depended on what part of the states, according to what I heard. Now, mind you, I heard that back maybe a month or so ago.
Now, mind you, it would also depend on what kind of eggs you buy. Like,
oh yeah,
if you're always buying like the omega-3s or whatever, I think they're more expensive. So
yeah, Stephanie says $8.99 for a pound of chicken today.
Wow, that's quite bad.
That's a lot. And eggs, but chicken's not cheap here either.
No.
So we watch.
No, I think the regular price here is about $7 or $8.
Walter's a real online shopper, like looking for the fly.
Yeah, we buy a lot of stuff when it's on special.
Yeah.
So.
Shannon says she's good with ramen. I need fabric. Okay. Eggs in central Missouri, Sue says, are around $1 a dozen right now. Whoa. Might be worth a trip to central. How long do eggs keep?
They're over $4 here.
Yeah, we need a chicken. Oh, Melina has chickens. Okay, that's a good thing. Just looking here. Heidi says, my husband and I don't get the HST rebate either, so no inflation rebate. Yeah. Food insecure. Yeah, that's the term social workers call it. Yeah. Shelly says, I shop sales and eat what is on sale. I buy in-season produce. I don't buy something if the price is too high. Seems like a few weeks later it's on sale. Yeah, you've got to be a strategic shopper for things. But, that's hard, too, to do. If you've got kids, these are the people I do feel sorry for. Not because they had kids. That was their choice, so suck it up. But now they've got them, and those kids have to eat. Okay, so, I feel really bad for somebody trying to, they had a lady on, they were interviewing for one. She's a single mom. She works. She has to pay for rent, and she has to pay for food. Between the rent and the food, that eats up to 90% of what she makes in a month for money. Well, that doesn't leave you a whole lot of money for anything else. And, people need to have a few little extras in their life because you can't be going from paycheck to paycheck, but so many people do. And that's an issue that affects mental health. Just looking here.
Lucy B says HST means half square triangle. HST is harmonized sales tax for us.
Yeah, Lucy.
So which is the same as your value added tax, VAT tax.
Yeah, your VAT tax. HST is VAT tax. For the Americans, they probably don't know either of those terms.
No.
For it, but
anyways. We have a provincial sales tax and a government sales tax, a federal sales tax. So the two of them combined are called harmonized sales tax.
Andy says things look like it's even worse in the UK. Yeah. And Brenda says Safeway sold eggs for 99 cents a dozen. Recently, Brenda? Because there's a bargain. Stock up. And Shelly says, wow, chicken is $1.99 a pound there. Shelly, where is it you live?
If it goes on sale, sometimes they'll have it on sale for $2.99 a pound. if you buy a whole chicken, right? But if you can find chicken breasts that are boneless and skinless right now, if they're on sale for $4.99 or $5.99 a pound, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Right here.
Uh,
They're normally about $8.99 a pound or more.
well, Stephanie's getting a real bargain. She says they have lots
Or
of corn.
$7.99 a pound.
Okay, you've got that figured
Yeah.
out. She says they have lots of corn in Ohio, though. So she got 19 cents an ear to help balance out the chicken. Now, corn isn't really available. Well, it is, because we get corn all year round. You can have corn all year round because it comes from the States and other places. But Ontario corn is not right now that available because it's a little bit early in the season. But last year, it was working out to what, about a buccaneer? Buccaneer
Yeah,
sounds like a pirate.
Buccaneer,
It was
yeah.
a buccaneer. Yeah, $1 an ear for
Yeah.
corn. Yeah. And you know,
$1.25 some places.
yeah, and you know what it is? Corn and beer are the same. You only rent them. Think about it. Cheryl says boneless, skinless chicken breast, $2.97 a pound here. Eggs, dozen large, $1.
Yeah, well, what's happened here is that our eggs have gone up during the pandemic, but they haven't come down again.
No, and they're not going to, because this is what they do. They train people to get used to it, so they never go backwards, ever on a price. Western or Eastern Washington State. Maybe you have to move out to that end of the world. And Cheryl says $1.76 dozen large. We're up to eggs. $1.76 dozen large. We're up to $5 a dozen. Okay. Julie says in Wisconsin, eggs and milk are often loss leaders in the store, underpriced to get the customer through the door, hoping they will buy other items as well. And at Tesco in the UK, £2.60 for 6 eggs. Wow, that's expensive, because that's basically what? That'd be about $4 Canadian.
Yeah, for
On that.
6 eggs. So
For
you're
6 eggs. So that's $8 a dozen
yeah.
Canadian. Walter's looking up to see what the exchange rate is on that.
So it was at £2.60.
Yeah, £2.60. Marilyn says, I noticed at Costco all the produce comes from Canada and I live in the States. Does it? That's interesting. Because usually our produce comes from the States.
Yeah, at Costco, she said. So.
Yeah, but at Costco, but
It's $4.43 Canadian. So that
$4.33.
$4.43 Canadian.
So that's almost, that's $9 a dozen
Yeah.
Canadian. Wow. Shelley says we have Wineco grocery stores. Wineco grocery stores. They are employee owned. Prices are pretty good. And for chicken, $4.99. Roasted chickens are my go-to. Well,
Yeah, see, in Canada, because of our, you can go to Vancouver and shop in the same grocery store as the ones here. And then in Halifax, we went to a grocery store, which is still the same chain.
yeah. Stephanie says the price to manufacture fabric has not gone up. It's the shipping. The shipping of it from overseas has tripled since the pandemic started. Well, that's what they're all blaming everything on. They're blaming it all on shipping prices have gone up. They also blame it on they can't get enough people to work again from it all. They blame everything on the pandemic. How long are we going to play that old tune? Because that's what all the businesses are. Everything is blamed on the pandemic. And I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. You know? They're using that as an excuse to gouge us. Most of these businesses. The grocery stores are definitely gouging us. There is no two ways about it. That's why we grow what we can grow. I mean, if what we really should do, if it wasn't for the damn wildlife, is dig up the whole backyard and plant a huge garden in there. But the bunnies will be the ones feasting, and the squirrels already eat our tomatoes and everything else in sight. Apparently, they kind of like to dig up our onions too. They don't eat them; they just dig them up. So I don't know, squirrels, and we have a lot of squirrels. Costco roasted chickens, $4.99. Costco roasted chickens here are, they used to be what, $7.99?
I think they still
Are
are.
they still
I
$7.99?
haven't looked at them for a while.
But I read something that Costco actually underprices, like somebody was saying about milk and that, underprice those chickens because they're such a popular buy and it pulls people into the store so they'll buy other things. So they actually lose money on the roasted chickens, but they make up for it on other things that people buy. You know, like a case of diced tomatoes, because you need a case of diced tomatoes, don't you? Or the 20-gallon drum of Kraft peanut butter or Nutella.
Or the giant jar of Nutella.
Nutella. Yeah. Yeah, it's that big. Yeah. Even Diet Coke is hugely expensive. Yeah. Lucy says she's drinking water. Yeah, we don't drink a lot of pop, so in fact we never drink pop. Val says my daughter works at Winco and she does all her shopping there because it's cheaper than some other name brand stores. Yeah, we don't have anything that's cheaper. That's the problem.
Yeah, we have like Loblaws brands, and we have a big store called Superstore that sells a lot of variety, and they also they also run a chain called No Frills, which is supposedly their discount store. But not all the stuff is very discounted in there. Like there's some things that are a little cheaper than the Superstore, but then there's prices that are the same as the Superstore on items. So
yeah,
it's not necessarily a real deal. It's just they offer less groceries and more ethnic things sometimes.
Shelly says she buys from Restaurant Supply and she gets bread flour for $30 for 50 pounds. I make my own bread and won't pay $5 a loaf. Well, we have a bread maker and we sometimes make bread too. We usually make baguettes, or Walter's got a great recipe for a cheesy bread he likes to make, which he hasn't made for a while. But yeah, you're right. $5 for a loaf of bread, that's not unheard of. With it, I don't know. At Costco, you usually get a good price on flour because we'll buy it in what size are those bags?
We'll buy it in either a 10 or 20 kilogram bag, which is
10 or 20. Well, that's
a 10 kilogram bag would be
40 pounds.
No, it's 22 pounds.
What, a 10 kilogram bag?
Yeah, 2.2.
Yeah, okay,
pounds,
that's 22 pounds. Yeah,
and a 20 kilogram bag would be 42 pounds, 44 pounds.
Yeah. So, and how much for that did you say?
I'm not sure what they sell it for right now. I think it's about 13 or 14, maybe $15 right now for 10 kilogram bag.
Well, maybe. Julie says raised garden beds with chicken wire around them. Rabbits can't jump very high. That's an idea. It's just that it looks so ugly though. You have this chicken wire all around this,
Yeah, but the chipmunks can get in.
Yeah, and those little monkeys, they're so cute, but they don't fear people. They don't fear anything. They come in and just decimate everything. We're sitting under our deck, like we have the enclosed, sort of semi-enclosed patio under there, right? We're sitting there one night, in comes a chipmunk. He's deciding there's something on our carpet he should be munching on, and he didn't care that we were there. He didn't take off. When he was finished that, he left. Walter won't let me feed him because the little bugger will bring his friends and they'll be banging on the windows asking for nuts. Stephanie says their bread is only $1.50 a loaf. Funny how things vary so much from place to place. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of variation amongst the states anyways.
It depends on what kind of bread you're buying too. So
yeah, Marilyn says think beer is now cheaper than Diet Coke. I don't know.
No, our beer is not too cheap.
Yeah. And Lucy says Lidl and Aldi have gone up a lot. I know in the States they have Aldi's now.
Yeah, apparently Aldi and Lidl looked at Canada, but they said our food prices were too cheap already. So
yeah, so they're not here. Andy says think some of the few losing money are the real estate folks that own large office space in the city. I thought I heard that office occupation in Chicago is down 18%. Yeah, there was something on the news not too long ago about Toronto. There's an awful lot of available office space. The same, because a lot of people are continuing to work at home. Their employers are letting them. So they don't need the overhead of the office space if people are working at home.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of empty office space in Toronto.
yeah.
And we noticed that when we were in St. John. I don't know if that's indicated, but we saw an office building that was pretty empty looking from what I could see.
Yeah, well, we saw a lot of buildings that were a little bit empty. Barb says if you buy PC brands at Shoppers Drug Mart now owned by Superstore, prices are higher. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you got to watch the PC brands
Yep.
because I found that even they have a line of what they call no-name products, which is like their generic products. They are sometimes higher than brand name products if you really look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to watch it. You got to know your prices on stuff. But, how much running around do you want to do to find a bargain, too? Because then you got to pay for gas and everything else. So, yeah, it's very difficult for anybody. Now, I especially feel bad for the people who are just making ends meet, if that, because this is killing them. And so our government slaps them in the face and, oh, we'll give you a couple of $100, one-time payment. That is not going to get them out of that. And just before we end up here, another changing the topic a little bit. I have a prediction about YouTube and where that's going to go. We were talking about this on Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen last week. YouTube is eventually going to become a full-fledged subscription service. It's already, you can subscribe to YouTube if you don't want any commercials, but it's going to become even more so because lately, if you have a Netflix subscription or one of the other ones, Disney, Netflix, Prime, have you noticed the lack of programming that's there? Now, I know this is affected by all kinds of things like writers' strikes and things. Are the writers still on strike?
I don't know.
But whatever, and that kind of stuff. But they're not as good as they used to be. And a lot of people are getting rid of their subscriptions to those things, and they're going to YouTube because on YouTube, you can watch movies, you can watch documentaries. There's lots of things. You do have to put up with commercials, but it's free right now. But I'll bet you in another year to 2 years' time, they're going to figure out how they can cash out even more on it than they do now with the advertising that they have. And that's going to mean starting to have probably tiers, where you pay for certain things. How that will affect content creators like me, like Stephanie, like Russ, like all the other ones out there, we have no idea with it. But mark my words, it's going to go to that.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. So I just throw that out there. We don't need to get into the discussion of it right now, but just something I thought might be interesting. So let's just finish up here with what people are saying. You like to see with flour jar. Oh, you can, if you put flour in jars, it preserves it better. Okay. Yeah, time is money, Lucy. I subscribe, and yes, cord cutting is having an effect on lots of us. Yep. Lots free with Roku. Yeah, I've never really explored that.
Yeah, actually, if you look at there's other streaming services that are free. So.
There's something I saw they talk about Pluto. I don't know if we can get that or not.
Well, actually, we have a smart TV. If you really go on the smart services, they have a lot of the smart TVs have their own TV station.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah.
Oh, we should maybe explore that and see. Because lately the pickings have been slim on Netflix and things like that. Dana's at 5 kilometers to exit 418. Oh, she's almost here. Ooh, Dana. Okay, well, on that note, it's time for us to say goodbye because we have to get ready for the princess when she arrives. We have to roll out the red carpet, get on our cornets, get out her robe, the whole bit for all of this. We are not worthy.
418 is not far from us.
No, it's not. So, okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. It was unfortunate we didn't have Dana with us today, but we'll make up for that in other ways. And everybody have a great week. See you So with Stephanie and Stephen, possibly. And don't forget, Stephen's birthday bash pop-up sew day next Saturday starting at 8 a.m., but come and go as you please. with that. And the link's in the show notes, and there'll be an email come out tomorrow. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us today. Sorry about the trouble with the sound at the beginning. I have to look into that and figure that out. Okay, see you all later.